Lenovo's newest smartphone, the K8 Plus, is yet another step in its journey towards stock Android after the company chose to ditch its custom Vibe UI. Now, while the K8 Plus isn't a part of the Android One family like the Xiaomi Mi A1, it does offer a similar experience. Now, will this help the K8 Plus stand up against the competition? Well, there's only one way to find out. If you have used Lenovo smartphones recently, then the K8 Plus should look and feel familiar. The K8 Plus has a metal body and its small size makes it comfortable for one-handed use. It has a 5.2-inch Full HD display with Corning Gorilla Glass 3 for protection. Lenovo has opted for non-backlit navigation buttons instead of on-screen ones, which are hard to hit in the dark. The power and volume buttons are on the right, and the power button has a different texture, making it easy to distinguish. On the other side, there's a physical music button which can be used to play or pause music as well as switch tracks. The button can be remapped to perform other functions such as taking a screenshot or launching an app, which makes it useful. The K8 Plus is a dual SIM device and has a tray on the left side. There are slots for 2 nano SIM cards as well as a dedicated slot for a micro SD card. For security, it has a fingerprint scanner at the back that is easy to reach and quick to unlock the phone. Lenovo has opted for a MediaTek Helio P25 octa-core processor clocked at 2.5 GHz. The phone is powerful enough to handle day-to-day apps without any issues. Heavier tasks do take a longer time to execute. The K8 Plus has 4 GB of RAM, which makes multitasking relatively smooth. There is 32 GB of internal storage, which is expandable by up to 128 GB using a micro SD card. Gaming isn't an issue and the phone can handle most games without stress. The phone does get warm after a long gaming session, but nothing too bad in our experience. Android enthusiasts will be happy to see that the K8 Plus runs on stock Nougat. Other than a few Microsoft Office apps pre-installed, this phone is pretty much bloatware free. Lenovo does offer the option to install apps from a list during setup if you like. However, there is no explicit promise of updates like there is for Android One phones. This phone packs in a 4000 mAh battery, which is responsible for its thickness and weight. Battery life is good and the phone can run for a day and a half with regular use. In our HD video loop test, the phone lasted 13 hours and 49 minutes, which is fairly good. The bundled charger is rated at 10.4 watts and charges the big battery in a little over 2 hours. Going with the current trends, the Lenovo K8 Plus gets a dual rear camera setup with one 13 megapixel and one 5 megapixel sensor. In the setup, the second camera is used to measure depth when clicking using depth mode. There's also an 8 megapixel selfie camera with a flash at the front. Lenovo has used a pretty basic camera app which is easy to use. The HDR and camera mode toggles are easily accessible. You get panorama and professional modes plus the default still mode. Landscape photos taken with the K8 Plus are decent but lack the sharpness we were expecting. HDR mode adds a weird tinge in daylight photos and is a hit or a miss in most cases. Nighttime shots are good and the camera does manage to keep the noise down if the area is well lit. Macros are quite good and the camera managed to capture good detail in daylight as well as low light conditions. Depth mode is easy to enable and the output has very good separation between the background and the subject. However, we found that the camera would lag after clicking a couple of photos in this mode. The 8 megapixel front camera has a beautify mode that takes good selfies. The front flash is handy in dark areas. With the Lenovo K8 Plus, it looks like the company has gone back to the basics. The phone manages day-to-day tasks really well. If a stock Android experience and good battery life are high up on your priority list, then this phone does look like a good choice. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, do give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Gadgets360.